Before we get into a whole interesting and intriguing conversation, I would like all of you all to settle down and warm up, and let's keep it casual, fun, and candid. Please excuse if anyone says anything or they've made any mistakes. It's okay, it's human. We all tend to make errors. Don't hold anyone for it. I would like to begin with each of your journeys. How did you start, and what made you, get to where you are right now? So I think let's go in sequence and then we can take individual questions, right? Over to you.
Hello everyone, this is Disha Pokharna here from Pure Platinum Jewellery Private Limited. And my journey started in 2019, but my dad, Mr. Vijay Pokharna, he started this journey in 2008. And he had a completely different roller coaster, but as I was a child, I'm seeing him going through this roller coaster, so it was like, yaar, पापा कर सकते हैं तो मैं तो डेफिनेटली कुछ तो कर ही सकती हूँ. तो दैट्स हाउ केप्ट बिल्डिंग माई माइंड एंड दैट्स हाउ आई स्टार्टेड. आई वाज लाइक कि नहीं, मेरे को बनना है तो बिजनेस मैन की बेटी ही बनूंगी मैं. एंड मेरे को कभी ज्वेलरी में इंटरेस्ट नहीं था. एंड आई वाज लाइक कि यार पता नहीं मैं कैसे करूँगी, क्योंकि मैं तो ज्वेलरी पहनती भी नहीं हूँ. फिर पापा लाइक कि तू एक काम कर, प्योर प्लैटिनम में 3 महीना तू काम कर, तेरे को मैं सैलरी दूंगा, तो उसके बाद में तेरे को जमे तो तू इंस्टीट्यूट ज्वाइन करना, अदरवाइज छोड़ दे. तो दैट्स हाउ, हाँ, सो दैट्स हाउ आई स्टार्टेड. सो 12th के बाद में सब घूमने जाते, मैं फैक्ट्री पे काम कर रही थी, डेटा एंट्री का काम कर रही थी तभी. सो देन आई वेंट टू इंस्टीट्यूट एंड IIGJ एंड आई स्टार्टेड माई जर्नी देयर. एंड फिर मैं ऐसी थी कि यार डिज़ाइनिंग मर्चेंडाइजिंग ठीक है, मैं कंपनी मैनेज कर लूँगी, मतलब मैंने सब कर लिया. So that's how I went into this industry and carried in a very small incident which happened and which was very funny. Carried Lane का जो ये रहता है competitions. So I was like, yeah, I can't do designing, it's okay, but at least I can put my thoughts in papers and like on paper and CAD. तो I just ऐसे तुक्का मारता ना, तो वैसे ही मैंने कैरी लेन की कंपटीशन में पार्टिसिपेट किया. वो नंबर तो नहीं लगना है, बट पार्टिसिपेट तो कर ही लेते हैं. One fine day I get a call from Carrot Lane. Are you Disha Pokharna? Yes. माँ आप सिलेक्टेड हो all over from India 4th में, मतलब क्योंकि 4 जन ही अलाउड थे. So I reconfirmed कि आप चेक करिए दिशा जैन है कि दिशा पोखरना है. And that was the first thing I called up my dad कि पापा आपको शॉक लगेगा, बट दिशा पोखरना कैरेट लेन में इंटर्नशिप कर रही है. And 6 months internship which changed completely, like very drastically. First 3 महीना तो मेरे को लगा कैरेट लेन वाले हकाल देंगे, क्योंकि मेरे डिज़ाइन सिलेक्ट नहीं हो रहे थे. जो मैं इंस्टीट्यूट में लाइंस मारते हैं वो मैं कैरेट लेन में लाइंस मार रही थी. बट next 3 months my 12 designs were selected in Carrot Lane and that were on portal. So that was the achievement and I was growing there. So that's how, and then I started my journey in 2019 in Pure Platinum, learning each and everything about platinum jewelry and every step of manufacturing, designing, CAD, every department. And now today I'm looking after business development growth and yes, taking ahead. Thank you so much.
Lovely. I don't have such an illustrious background. This is lovely. So giving a brief introduction about myself, Adarsh and I, my husband and I, started Profini Fine Jewels as recent as 8 months from now. I always had keen interest in designing. I knew that since I was a child, I would do something creative. However, most of my professional career, I have been a part of corporate finance and I've done tech advisory. Just at the beginning of this year, we took the leap of faith and we chose to start our own lab-grown diamond and lab-grown polki jewelry brand called Profini. It's been a roller coaster, as everyone here would know, right from learning how to source, learning how to design, learning how to get the manufacturing in place, and of course the most important part, customer acquisition, and having your presence right there. So it's all been a lot together, but I think the last 8 months have taught me enough to be here. I am truly honored to get this opportunity to be on this panel, and I think the discussion will spill a lot of more information.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Myself Jagruti Patel. मेरा
Jagruti, just a little louder.
ओके मेरा जो स्टोरी है वो थोड़ा बहुत ही अलग है जैसे मैं हूँ ज्वेलरी बैकग्राउंड से, बट ऐसा था कि मुझे बनना था डॉक्टर और मैं बन गई हूँ बिजनेस वूमन हम मेरे जो अंकल हैं बिपिन भाई बिरड़िया, उन्होंने मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटी दी कि एक बार तुम ये फील्ड में आके देखो, तो आई जस्ट ट्राइड दैट यस लेट्स ट्राई, इफ ही बिलीव्स इन मी दैट आई कैन डू, देन यस आई कैन डू. And yes, I did it. Maybe yes, I did it. That's why I'm here right now. From me, it's like it was a big challenge to learn about jewelry and designing and everything. But I started my career, and right now I'm looking for in our U brand designs and sales. Okay, thank you.
Wonderful.
Hi. Thank you, Prerna, for bringing us on this equal platform of women entrepreneur on this panel. Thank you, GJC, for organizing such a woman entrepreneur seminar. So I completely belong to the rich and heritage city of Calcutta, also not being from a jewelry background completely, but growing in an environment of artistic culture, ornate architectures, and this handcraft jewelry. So that was one that drawn me into the design sector. So initially I belonged to a time where there was no professional formal education in this industry. So I was led by this Shantiniketan School of Art, which was run by Rabindranath Tagore. He started. So that was the first design segment that I came across, where I learned thread handcraft jewelry that was taught by that time 20 years back. So there I had seen the actual woman empowerment. So the entire designing of thread jewelry was done by women, a complete class of women entrepreneur, women driving the force. So that was my first encounter with women. So that completely changed my mindset towards design.
So you started Nari Shakti back then only.
Actually. So that laid the foundation of design, and I had learned the basic fundamentals of design from there. So that's the root cause I am very close to the this intricate craftsmanship of Bengal. I know Bengali, I interact, I've learned under every step of production from Bengali craftsmen, and I have been with them for years learning that. So I've gelled with them like anything. So that's how it drifted me to the design segment. So that brought me that as an edupreneur, I feel that even the industry, when I was going through this entire my work, where I was welcomed by the industry in gem and jewelry. So I was going through the portfolios of different institutes, where I found the basic fundamentals were missing. So in my own company, the portfolios that coming out of students were being rejected. So which literally hurted me a lot. So that what I have taken from the industry, I have to give it back. So giving that thing brought me into the education.
Oh, wonderful.
So that's how I laid the foundation of this gem and jewelry comprehensive course programs at IIG. And here we are working on the entire fundamentals, techniques to the cutting edge advancement technologies, that everything that is learned in a 360-degree program of IIG. So IIG presently, we have taken this platform to the global level, where we are having online, offline platform for educating. And presently, IIG is the fastest growing institute in gem and jewelry domain. So in this 360-degree, I want to make people aware of how education works, an important role in your life.
Oh, definitely. Education plays a very big role. I mean, I have my own example where I started my... If I would have not trained myself in the gems and jewelry industry, I don't think I would be sitting here today. So I totally second that.
Totally love and passion for design, and your need to make yourself look different, that brought me, and to give it back to the industry what I have learned from my people. Thank you.
Thank you.
So hi, Can you hear me? Hi, I'm Darshini. My father's brand is MU Jewellers Private Limited, and I lead the brand Amira Creations Private Limited. Amira Creations is 1.5 years old, and MU Jewellers is like years and years old. I'm the third generation in MU Jewellers. And my journey actually kind of started at home because I see my parents, my father, my uncles, and my brother, they're all very dedicated towards the business. So I always wanted to do this. In my 6th standard or 8th standard essay, it's written I always wanted to be a jewelry designer. So it's been a long dream. Yeah.
So you were manifesting it from
I
then.
manifested this for myself, that I want to be a jewelry designer. However, when I did my job, I took my world experience, and then when I joined my family business, I learned a lot more than I did in the outside world, because they always pushed me, they always showed me the new things. Because yes, you do learn a lot in institutes and everywhere. They're like the best place to start. However, when you come into the real world, how my uncle, he showed me all the real life challenges, like, well, while casting, what challenges you may face, with karigars, what challenges you may face. That is a whole different ball game. So while learning all of those with my uncle, my dad's into marketing and sales for the brand. So he teaches me how to interact with the customers. So it's a lot of different pillars that helped me learn, and my journey started at home, and I'm very happy that I'm continuing at home. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, Darshini, since you mentioned about, you've grown up in the industry with your family business, but there would have been a certain set of obstacles or challenges you faced yourself, like, apart from what the family, you were taught for sure, but how did you go through that, and how did you come out of it?
Personally, if you ask me for a challenge, it would always be like seen as the daughter. You don't have a personal identity. In the very beginning, obviously you won't, but even after a certain point, people recognize you as MU ki beti. They won't say even my father's name, कि किशोर की बेटी है या प्रवीण की बेटी है, nothing, just MU की बेटी. So to create your name and to show that, yeah, you are someone, like you're at least working, so you can have an identity. That was a challenge for a year or two maybe, but the industry was very welcoming, and they've been very friendly, especially with every new council that's coming. They have a women's wing, like GJC itself, they have the new generation wing. So yes, everyone's supporting in a way that, yes, you make your own identity. And I think those challenges have been coming forward very well. So yeah, I think even GJC, most of the council members are women, like we see Yashi, we see Jagrati, and everyone that's like women are very much supported. And now you have a place to make your own identity. It's no more just because it's your family business, so you'll be known as someone's daughter or someone's sister or something. No, you can make your own identity if you try to. So I think that's one challenge.
So Zeel, I mean, she has a family background, but you've started right from scratch. Yeah. So tell me, what are some of the challenges you faced and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, so I'd like to the set of challenges I had in mind, you pose a completely different one, which is fantastic. I mean, yes, definitely building your own identity is one big obstacle here. But yeah, coming to obstacles while building a brand, what I've identified in the last 8 months of working with Profini is jewelry as an industry. To build a brand, you need 4 pillars. One is pehle to creativity. So your designs, the uniqueness of your designs and how it matches what the customer wants, that's one. Second is your quality. So the finish, the craftsmanship, the kind of raw materials you use, etc. Third, I think, is trust. Building trust is primary. Nothing in jewelry can be sold if there's no trust. And fourth, I would say, is popularity. So building a brand, making it aspirational is one important pillar. Now, I have faced obstacles when it comes to 1, 3, and 4, which is one, when it's about creativity. So, we have a fleet of designers making designs, but, keeping up with what's trending, what's coming new, matching the manufacturing cycles with the trends also sometimes becomes a challenge. So being able to optimize, your manufacturing and syncing it with what trends are out there, what customers are looking for is one major obstacle. In terms of quality, it's still fine. Trust, again, one daunting task is to be able to convince customers, especially because I come from the lab-grown diamond space, so being able to convince the value and the worth of the products that we're selling and build that trust that, what you're purchasing does have value and it is worthwhile. So that would be another obstacle that I have faced. And lastly, with popularity, being in touch with people, being in touch with, prospective clients, making your brand recognizable, that's quite a big deal. So, being able to constantly reach out to the customer, be available, be the brand that, comes to their mind when they think of jewelry is another challenge, and then that's something that you need to figure how exactly to, overcome that.
So since you spoke about lab grown, do you also often the generic question which is in the market, ye real hai ki nahi, or like there are so many funny myths and facts about LGD and natural diamond. Do you also get them, and what sort of questions you get?
Many of these questions that so two primarily. One is ye fake diamond hai, and second, iska mujhe buyback kya milega? So these are the two questions that I primarily face. And then at the beginning, we knew how we had to position this entire product in the market. So when it comes to fake diamonds, we ask them, is the snow in Kashmir different from the ice in your freezer? And then, another example we give is an IVF baby different from a natural, a naturally conceived baby? And then that's, I think, where they get the idea of what lab-grown diamonds are. And then, of course, we give a comparison of other gemstones like your mosenites and your American diamonds and how they are not diamonds. That's how they're kind of being able to understand what lab-grown diamonds are. Secondly, the value for money. When you explain that to them, you explain how there are multiple different investment opportunities now, and jewelry need not be the best investment opportunity. It could be one, but it's not the best. So when they understand the value of money, how money compounds in other sources, and jewelry can be made more affordable, and it's not restricted to empty your pockets, then you'll get something good. That's when you explain that, then they even get convinced in terms of a buyback policy being in place, and how lab-grown diamonds are definitely going to replace or if not replace, are definitely going to capture a market that hasn't been able to experiment in the diamond jewelry space. So these are the two main questions that I get. From day one, we were prepared on how to answer that.
Wonderful. Now, moving on to Gunjan, you've been a womanpreneur from the beginning. What kind of challenges did you face? Because you've had a different journey altogether, and how did you make your way through it?
So, frankly speaking, when I go back and see how I was welcomed in the industry, being a new entrant, it's completely different. I actually was welcomed in a very different way. The first interaction of winning an award in the competition was by the Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council, President Mr. Prakash Chandra Pincha, who brought me into the industry. So for me, being in that industry where I completely am not aware about anything, and he was the person giving a trust, okay, I want you to design for me, that was a big hands up. So the industry had been very welcoming, and when your talent speaks, nothing beyond that. So that talent brought me there. When secondly, when I was entering BC Jain Jewellers, Kamak Street, one of the biggest store of Kolkata. So when I entered there and they saw the work, they said, you are designing to production everything in your hand. That was the first day statement that was given to me, and I was shocked because I was completely new, not coming from an educational background, not from a jewelry business. And everything was laid on the table, okay, you design. And that time we didn't have CAD. So I used to put every design on that mom and doing craftsmanship myself, giving layers, everything. And they were surprised, they were astonished how you are doing that. So industry has been very welcoming to me for my work, the talent. I got respect, I got opportunities to expand my profession there also, to build myself as a brand, representing seminars and all. I worked with Italian designer, German designer, that was given an opportunity from my the work I was doing. And when I worked with him, then I came to know how international design school works. So he had come down here to set up an institute in Mumbai, and he asked me to assist him for his work. So overall journey, if I see, I didn't face most of the challenges like you say, but yes, being non-entrant of jewelry industry, it has been very welcoming and very respectful. I had always worked on my terms, and my work always used to peak.
I think that is one important thing that she mentioned, that always work on your terms. Yesterday when I heard Govind Bhai talk, it was what he was narrating was simply the same thing कि मुझे मेरे प्राइस पे माल बेचना है और अगर वो प्राइस मुझे नहीं मिला तो मैं उससे धंधा ही नहीं करूँगा. So I think it ultimately comes to all of that. Compromise you can do it to a certain point, but you shouldn't be on that.
और by God's grace मुझे कभी भी किसी के साथ ऐसा नहीं हुआ. I always work till I'm working in Mumbai. I work on my terms.
That is wonderful. I think that's one big learning for all of us.
See, being in a male-dominant society, जब मैं वहाँ पहुँची तो they were all male designers और उसमें एक new entrant को एक new जो experience नहीं है वो heads up देना was very different, very astonishing for me also. But I had to prove again. So I proved with my work. I made them realize, and in instant they had seen that difference within 6 months where they had reached in designing segment. So my designs were being worn by celebrities and all. So that was a complete game changer for me. That's how I entered the real world of gem and jewelry industry.
Wow. So coming back to you, Disha, you've been in a family business for a while. आपने कभी ऐसा सुना है अरे ये लड़की है ये क्या करेगी मतलब लड़का समझा लेगा और any those sort of questions or myths you've heard?
So in my case actually it's very opposite because मेरा भाई मेरे से 10 साल छोटा है. उसको धंधे में आने को 10 साल है तो वो तो कभी आएगा ऐसा. तो आई एम द एल्डर वन. तो पापा लाइक कि तू घुस बिजनेस में, सब बराबर है, सब सेम है, लड़का लड़की कुछ नहीं होता है.
दैट इज वेरी गुड.
सो देयर आई लाइक कि हाँ मैं ये कर सकती हूँ एंड आई हैव टू डू इट. भाई का तो पता नहीं, he'll come, he'll not come, it's secondary, but I have to enter this business and I have to make pure platinum on a different level. So challenges नहीं था मेरे को क्योंकि शुरू ही मेरे पापा से हुआ था कि बेटा तू जा आगे और तू काम कर, हमने जितना काम करना था हमने कर लिया, अब तुम्हें आगे लेके जाना है. सो दैट वॉज दी माइंड सेट ऑफ माई डैड. सो पापा ने बोल दिया तो बात ही खत्म है, आगे पीछे कोई बोलेगा ही नहीं.
एब्सोल्युटली.
एंड व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट वुमेन्स आर पावरफुल. दे आर लाइक दे नो हाउ टू बैलेंस वर्क लाइफ एंड दे ऑल्सो नो हाउ टू बैलेंस द पर्सनल लाइफ. एंड इन टर्म्स ऑफ द अंडरस्टैंडिंग द पेशेंस एंड जिस तरीके से कन्विंसिंग पावर जो वुमेन्स में है ना, तो सेल्स जो कंपनी में वुमेन्स है उधर सेल्स हिट होना ही है. बिकॉज वुमेन्स नो हाउ टू कन्विंस द कस्टमर, दे नो हाउ टू मेक देम फील द टच, द इमोशंस एंड दे नो हाउ टू मेक इट इन अ रियल लाइफ. प्रैक्टिकलिटी भी बहुत सही है. सो दैट्स हाउ एंड आई एम एंजॉइंग. या
तो जागृति, आप भी एक सिमिलर स्पेस से आते हैं. आपने कभी कोई टाइप का क्रिटिसिज्म फेस किया है फॉर द ब्रांड और फॉर एनी ऑफ द ज्वेलरी? एंड अगर किया भी है तो समटाइम्स कलेक्शंस के लिए भी होता है ये चलेगा या नहीं चलेगा. आपने उन चीज़ों को कैसे हैंडल किया?
इट्स लाइक क्रिटिसिज्म दो टाइप से होता है. एक आपका पर्सनल भी क्रिटिसिज्म हो सकता है. ओके, पर्सनल भी क्रिटिसिज्म हो सकता है और एक आपको ब्रांड को लेकर, जैसे अभी आपने पूछा उनको वो फेस नहीं करना पड़ा बिकॉज सी इज़ फ्रॉम मुंबई, राइट? सो सी इज़ फ्रॉम मेट्रो सिटी. आई एम नॉट फ्रॉम मेट्रो सिटी, आई एम फ्रॉम स्मॉल टाउन. सो यस, आई फेस दैट सी इज़ अ गर्ल. What she will do? She can't do anything. I had many times, but I proved that no, every girls, every woman's, every daughter-in-law, every woman can do anything if she wishes.
वो बोलते हैं ना, अगर नारी ठान ले तो सब कुछ चीज़ कर सकती है.
Yes, definitely. And there's nothing like that. But working woman is not handling the personal life and not handling the personal family. It's nothing like that. If the woman wish, then she will. Absolutely. And if you will support, then she can do anything. But if you will not support, then she will think that if you are not supporting, then why should I? It's normal, it's natural. And for brand, we can say like we are in a mass production. So for a brand, there's a norms like you have the proper packaging, you have the proper fonts, everything like that. In thousands of pieces, if we got a small piece damage or anything like that, then people like saying like that, how can you do like that? Like you have done any crime of that what type of like that. आप ये ब्रांड ही बंद कर दो, आपका ब्रांड का काम वैसे तो वहाँ तक के वर्डिंग आ जाता है. वो ऑब्वियसली है, क्योंकि हम प्रीशियस ज्वेलरी बना रहे हैं, प्रीशियस जो चीज़ है उसको हमें प्रीशियस तरीके से ही प्रेस करना है। बट जो भी मिस्टेक अगर हम स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं तो डेफिनेटली है कि हम कोई चीज़ हमको पता नहीं होती है तो आएगी। तो जो भी क्रिटिसिज्म आ रहा है उसको एक माइलस्टोन लेके कि भाई हमें ये इम्प्रूवमेंट करना है, आगे कैसे बढ़ना है, आगे से वही मिस्टेक रिपीट ना हो, और ब्रांड सस्टेन कैसे करना है उसके ऊपर हम फोकस करेंगे। तो क्रिटिसिज्म इज़ एन अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर एवरीवन।
Absolutely. I think if criticism is taken in the correct manner, it will help you improvise than, you know, taking it in a negative way. So every criticism, like she said, can also become an opportunity for somebody. So, you know, आपने जैसे packaging के बारे में बताया. Would anybody like to talk anything about visual merchandising and packaging, how it plays a role in their brands?
It plays a very important role. It's a complete storytelling that we do through visual merchandising. So it's the first storyline that consumer comes and sees how we are aligning with the segment of jewelry. So that's the first take, that's the first encounter of a client towards the jewelry. So what we are depicting, the entire storyline, the real feel, the real experience, the real touch, emotion of jewelry comes through our visual merchandising. So every time we see that when we come for IHS exhibition, and I especially take my students to each and every visual merchandising store, since we have this this merchandising program also a part of our master's program. So I want my students to see how each and every brand is trying to tell a story, how every piece is having a storyline behind it. The competitions, themes, mood boards, everything.
Yeah, the presentation makes a big, I mean.
So that's the first experience a consumer has when he enters your store. That brings him inside, oh, it connects. So that's the connectivity, that's the first welcoming note we have. So a storyline, empowering the brand is very important.
Sorry, you wanted to add something.
Yeah, actually, she did mention about the store and entering, but we experience social media as more important when this starts. Because even coming before to the store, they go on the social media, Pinterest, if you have a website, they'll go there. So we make sure that our color branding is very similar. We have specific colors for both of our brands. So those colors are highlighted in those. So visual merchandising is kind of like a remembrance.
Yes.
Like if they see the color, maybe they remember that, yeah,
brand
I've
recall.
seen that color somewhere or seen that model somewhere. So in visual merchandising, I think, yes, store is a very big part, packaging plays a very big role, but social media at the same time is really taking over the visual merchandising area.
Oh, absolutely. I think from my experience, what I see, brands are also maintaining color palettes with the way they present on social media or any kind of packaging they're doing or digital presence that they have. So it, like I said, a brand recall is what people want to see. For example, today if we see a Tiffany and we see that sort of a blue, immediately it will take you back to the color that, you know, oh, this is a Tiffany blue. You know, it's just become that color. So
that is very true. Actually, Tiffany, funny that you mentioned that because it's not actually the name of the color, but now everyone knows that as the
they
Tiffany
resonate
color.
with it.
Yeah, it's the Tiffany color. So yeah, color makes a very big difference.
So talking about social media, would any of you all want to add on that, how it plays a role for you all?
I'll add a little bit on the visual representation part. So yes, branding, etc. is important. It does build your brand identity. But I would like to add on the storytelling part. So with the new upcoming brands, it is social media, right? So being able to convey an emotion and then connect that emotion back to a piece is essentially the crux of, you know, placing your brand out there and, you know, marketing your brand. So I'll just give like one or two examples that have worked very well for me with my brand is, one, we all as jewelers, we know, you know, how tedious it is to get a jewelry piece out from, you know, from your mind to your table, right? So being able to, so what we could do is show the entire artisan's journey of, you know, how it was designed, how the carrot came in place, how it went for manufacturing, your casting, setting, blah, 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 all those steps. That adds a kind of luxe feel to the product. The customer feels like, okay, I'm not buying any random commodity, I'm not buying flowers or I'm not buying chocolates, but I'm buying something which has meaning, something which has, you know, enough effort being put into it. So that was one story that worked fantastically for me. And another one which was I think for our Mother's Day initiative, we tried to show, we had an entire range of products which was circular. So trying to show that, you know, moms are the light of our lives, they're the center of our universe. And being able to connect those stories, I remember people coming and saying, Mom collection bataiye na, Mom collection bataiye. So that's, the storytelling bit comes into place there, where, you know, your product gets identified with the emotion. So yeah, that's one piece that I wanted to add.
But sometimes do you also feel that, you know, when you've not conveyed the story correctly, the customer gets confused with, okay, but you know, ye bol aur kuch rahe and dikha aur kuch rahe. Does that happen? Have you guys faced anything like that?
So not yet, but I have seen some instances with couple brands that, you know, their storytelling didn't go right. Personally, I haven't yet, you know, experienced something of that sort.
I would like to add, so I entered in 2019, right? So Dad showed me कि दिशा ये collection है, because वो पूरा देखते थे, designing से लेकर मैंने, he's like a complete multitasker, कि ये collection है, इसको अपन को discard करना है इस तरीके से, because it's not working out. I'm like, ठीक है, क्यों discard करना है? ये अपन ने बताया इनको इस तरीके से customer को collection, but उसको नहीं समझ आ रहा है. But ठीक है, just give me 1 day's time. Next day, I presented that collection in a different way and with a different story language and merchandising. And I was like, मैंने बोला कि ये collection है. मैं दिशा तूने कैसे किया? मैं just the thought process and again आप किस तरीके से present करते हो? भले आपका design 10 साल पुराना होगा, but अगर आपने उसको नया story दे दिया या नया campaign add कर दिया, तो वो automatically it's a new collection for others because उनको नहीं पता कि आपके पास क्या है और क्या नहीं है. So that's how the presentation is. Yeah.
Wonderful. So tell me, Zeel, since you mentioned about sustainability, what are some of the you know, initiatives you've taken with your brand, and how do you resonate that with the customers also?
So sustainability was one of the driving factors behind building this brand. We didn't want to be another jeweler in the market, but we wanted to be a jeweler who believes in designs as well as sustainability. So we've come from a family that has in the past purchased a lot of you know, natural diamonds, and the entire concept of man-made diamonds convinced us when it came to sustainability. So our brand breeds sustainability. We try to convince a lot of our consumers as to, you know, what kind of environmental impact you're reducing by going the lab-grown way. In addition to that, so the product itself is sustainable. In addition to that, we have a couple initiatives like we call it end-of-life programs, where once your jewelry, once the consumer feels that the jewelry is, you know, they're done with it, we do offer options to recycle or redesign their jewelry. So that's one of it. Second one of this that we've offered is all our production is local. So except for our factory in Surat, all the manufacturing happens in Mumbai, trying to reduce as much carbon footprint as possible. And lastly, we are still, I mean, we're working with a brand to, it's a carbon offsetting program that they offer. Now, what that program is, I'm not sure if everyone's aware of it. If you can estimate or budget the carbon footprint that your product is building, because even with man-made diamonds, there's still a factory that runs, right? So if you can estimate the amount of carbon footprint, there are these programs that help you, you know, invest in initiatives which are greener. So we are tying up with couple companies who do offer these kind of carbon offsetting.
Is it okay if you want to name some so people can know?
Yeah, it's BNPX, it's called. And basically the program is that you purchase some, so they have it in the form of currency and coins. So you purchase certain carbon coins, which then they use that money to, you know, probably plant more trees, more green initiatives, being able to help in, you know, your biocomposting and all those initiatives. So they help you also calculate your carbon footprint as well as, you know, offset it with greener initiatives. So that's one initiative that we're looking at in the latter part of this year. So that's what we have in mind when it comes to sustainability.
Wonderful. So, you know, since we have a fair mix of people from the B2B and the B2B industry here, do you think that, you know, the B2B jewelry is generally not considered luxury and only retailers have luxury jewelry? And, you know, how do you, you know, maintain that balance, and how do you address that to the, you know, to your customer? Because for B2B, retailer becomes your customer, and for the end customer, you're going to a retailer. So how do you guys maintain that? Let's begin with Disha, if you have to say something.
So when it comes to luxury, platinum itself is a luxury metal. And when it comes कि platinum अगर हम generally किसी को पूछते हैं सबसे पहले बोलता है ये तो चांदी है, ये तो white gold है. But वो वैसा नहीं है. It's a different luxury metal and people have this mindset कि यार जिसके पास बहुत पैसा है वही platinum खरीद सकता है. So that is not the mindset. Platinum is affordable. It's just कि you should feel special. If you feel special, you want to be confident. Once you wear platinum, you'll feel that happiness, the self-confident, and you'll be bold enough when you wear platinum. और बात रही mass production की, it is affordable product. Pure platinum product or any platinum product, but वो होना चाहिए उनके पास. पहला चीज़ आता है यार गोल्ड का बायबैक है, इसका रीसेल वैल्यू है, प्लैटिनम का थोड़ी है क्योंकि रिटेलर्स को वो अवेयरनेस नहीं है, वो ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं है. वो ट्रांसपेरेंसी हम देंगे उन्हें. अगर हम रिटेलर्स को वो ट्रांसपेरेंसी देंगे ऑटोमेटिक कंज्यूमर के पास वो ट्रांसपेरेंसी आएगा. देयर इज़ अ रीसेल वैल्यू, देयर इज़ अ बायबैक पॉलिसी, देयर इज़ अ एक्सचेंज पॉलिसी. इट्स जस्ट कि जिस तरीके से गोल्ड का एक्सचेंज, जिस तरीके से गोल्ड के पॉलिसीज़ होते हैं उसी तरीके से प्लैटिनम की भी पॉलिसीज़ है एंड एवरी थिंग इज़ पॉसिबल. सो वेयर प्योर प्लैटिनम स्टैंड्स कि जो प्रॉब्लम आपका है वो हमारा है, हम उसको साथ में सॉल्व करके देंगे.
So do you also, since we're talking about platinum, do you also take the regulations and rules set by the Platinum Guild India, or how do you work around that?
So yes, we are PGI authorized platinum jewelry manufacturers, and we go with the trend. We follow them, and they are the strength अगर देखने जाए because वो लोग जिस तरीके से awareness फैला रहे हैं, जिस तरीके से दे आर मार्केटिंग द कंज्यूमर्स, द ब्रांडिंग एंड एवरीथिंग, उस तरीके से हमें 2 टायर सिटीज़ से भी हमें ऑर्डर्स आते हैं जहाँ पे हमने सोचा भी नहीं होगा. ऐसा लगता है कि पॉश एरिया में ही प्लैटिनम होगा. नहीं, दैट्स नॉट राइट. 2 टायर सिटीज़ में भी आते हैं जो आपने नाम भी नहीं सुने होंगे. वेयर इनफैक्ट
can you name some few where you probably had a very good experience of and you didn't expect कि वहाँ सेल हो गया?
So I was running on a online platform, okay, that was Amazon, and I don't remember the name, but South के कोई तो एक छोटे से पार्ट में वहाँ पे डिलीवरी भी नहीं होती है. I had to plan it out कि मैं पर्सन को बोलूँ और पैसा दे के कि प्लीज़ आप उनके घर पे ड्रॉप करके आइए. So और इनफैक्ट इट वाज मतलब 50 ग्राम्स का चेन था. So there are people who have money, they know about, but awareness नहीं है, इसके लिए वो प्लैटिनम खरीद नहीं पाते हैं. बट नाउ देयर इज अवेयरनेस एंड प्लैटिनम इज ग्रोइंग डे बाय डे. या
Super. So I'm going to ask you, Darshini, because you come from the retail side of it. How do you handle this situation?
So are you asking me as a retailer, because I'm a retailer as well, or like my brand, how they help retailers?
Both ways.
Okay, so at MU Jewellers we generally sell to retailers. So they understand luxury how we explain it to them. If we explain to them कि तुम 50 पीस ले लो और ये 50 पीस बेच दो, तो उसमें luxury का element कहीं पे भी नहीं होने वाला है. But when we explain to them कि वो एक product पे कितना finishing and everything, see, luxury is equal to the quality.
So you need to educate them basically.
Yes, the retailers need to be educated. It's equal to quality. If you give them poor quality and tell them कि ये diamond का माल है, तो नहीं होने वाला है वो diamond का माल. They see the quality. You can see what the product is. So when it comes to luxury, quality is first, and how we educate them is we give them the storyline, we give them the photography, we give them the model shoots, we give all of those to them so they can portray in their brand कि हमने model shoot कराया है. If that's the same product there, yes, they use our pictures, and they have a lot of brands. We have actually a lot of brands who have their banners which are our model photography that we've given it to them. They will take luxury into it when we give it to them. आप रिटेलर्स से वी कांट एक्सपेक्ट कि मतलब उनके पास तो 10 ब्रांड का है, वो ऐसे कैसे कि हमारे ही ब्रांड का वो फोटोग्राफी लगाएंगे. जब हम उनको वो सर्विस देंगे कि आप हमारे पिक्चर्स यूज़ करिए, अपने बैनर्स वगैरह पे लगाइए. सो दैट्स हाउ वी गिव अ लग्जरी टू द रिटेलर्स, एंड दैट्स हाउ दे सेल इट एज अ लग्जरी, एंड देन दे कम बैक टू अस. So yeah, the luxury is equal to the service we give.
So I have a question for all of you all. I get this a lot of time being an influencer. A lot of the brands think कि B2B brands के लिए social media presence is not important. It is only meant for B2C people or for retailers or independent designers. What are your thoughts on that?
I deny for that. No, B2B के लिए भी social media platform बहुत ज़रूरी है. As in our Delhi exhibition, first time you have influenced that time.
Thank you.
And it was a very great photo shoot. I had some of it. It was very great. Like आपको it's a brand building is not like only B2B or B2C. It's if you are manufacturing some products and with quality, then you have to make a brand. And people what before the मतलब 20 साल पहले ऐसा था कि people गोल्ड लेने जाते हैं तो वो ये सोचेंगे कि भाई कोई मेरे नॉन का है तो उससे लूँ, या तो कोई पुराना बहुत है ट्रस्ट वाला है उससे लूँ. अभी क्या है कि गोल्ड ज्वेलरी में भी ब्रांड ट्रेंड हो गया है. तो और जब ब्रांड का नाम आता है तब पीपल को लगता है नहीं, अगर मैं ये प्रोडक्ट ले रहा हूँ तो इसमें क्वालिटी है, इसमें कोई मिस्टेक नहीं है, उसको सब तरीके से एश्योरेंस मिलता है. वही होता है अगर हम मैन्युफैक्चरर है, हम अगर एज ए ब्रांड लेके जाएंगे तो हमको B2B में मतलब आगे जो होलसेलर है उनको बिलीव करवाने में उतना इश्यू नहीं होगा. वही अगर हम उसको नॉन ब्रांडेड प्रोडक्ट देंगे तो वो ये सोचे, पहले हमको पूछेगा भाई इसमें टच का मिस्टेक तो नहीं आएगा ना, कुछ भी इसमें अगर रिपेयर रिटर्न होगा तो क्या होगा. बट एज अ ब्रांड उनको पता है ब्रांड के नॉर्म से कि आप रिपेयर करके देंगे, आपको उसको कुछ भी हो गया आप सर्विस देंगे. तो स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम मैन्युफैक्चरिंग टू सेलिंग टू रिटेलर, ब्रांड नेम तो चाहिए ही चाहिए. अगर आप लग्जरी बेच रहे हैं, आप क्वालिटी के साथ कोई भी प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हैं तो आपको ब्रांड एस्टेब्लिश करना ही चाहिए.
Wonderful.
So from my point, I would like to add to that. So social media basically works in twofold way. At one place it is helps in your lead generation, customer orientation, and then the second way it also awares the consumers about what is going in the market trends. It educates them, it inspires them. So they are not only just for bringing the consumers to the store or to the product and all, but also upgraded them with lot of educational awareness. What is new and trend, what is going to be the trend sets of the upcoming years and all. So I personally see that it is a complete blend of both. We need consumer awareness, transparency, sustainability at the same time. When Zeel was talking about sustainability also. So we know that there are this Go Green initiatives and this zero carbon factors, but where are they applied in India? Who are applying them? That is important. So during our industrial visits, we do take our students to the Surat factories, Green Lamp Diamonds, who are completely Go Green factor, how they are doing. Golden Carrot, completely zero carbon, HK Designs, Kisna, how they are actually working on this segment. So knowing the initiatives and applying it and making people aware of this zonal panels, zonal conservation of energy and all is equally important. So we need to see how people globally look on to India in these factors, how India has come up in gem. Now people are looking on to India for gem and jewelry, manufacturing things, learning design. I'm myself catering globally all the jewelers in USA. I'm teaching them for this designing segment, though they are in the industry from years. So why this need had suddenly arrived, how they see India in their Finnish craftsmanship. So that has led us to presently keep ourselves to that level, to maintain that level. So I personally see that we women, we belong to this industry, we have that power to prove ourselves in the most finished way, and this jewelry, our own product. So we can do wonders.
Super. So before we get into the Q&A, my audience Q&A, my last question to you all is, how important has networking played a role in your life, and do you think it's important for people to go for networking evenings or meet people? सब लोग बोलते हैं अरे कई बार I'm busy, I don't want to meet कितने लोगों को मिलूं. How important has networking been for you all?
So when we talk about networking is something, भले आप वो person के साथ business करो या नहीं करो, but you maintaining the relation with the person, and अगर वो person आपको रोज़ देख रहा है, or if you meeting every event, He knows कि हाँ you belong from pure platinum. He knows कि हाँ आप उधर क्या करते हो कैसे हो. My dad, he has been doing this networking since years. Since 2008 he is doing. मैं उनके साथ हर जगह वो पीछे पीछे के नहीं. I want to see what you are doing. So भली मेरे को नहीं जानते but at least I know कि हाँ he is the person, he is the great person in the industry. I know people with whom I am and I had first experience. I had been to Bangalore exhibition for the first time alone. कि लेट्स सी कुछ होगा कुछ नहीं तो मैं एटलीस्ट देख के तो आऊँगी कि होता क्या है. देयर वॉज अ नाइट ओवर देयर GJPC नाइट एंड देयर आई मेट ऑल द इंडस्ट्री पीपल ओवर देयर एंड आई वॉज सो हैप्पी कि आई टुक दिस स्टेप कि यार दिशा अकेले भली जा बट नेटवर्किंग इज इम्पॉर्टेंट बिकॉज इफ यू डू नेटवर्किंग दैट्स हाउ यू प्रेजेंटिंग योर ब्रांड यू डूइंग मार्केटिंग ऑफ योर ब्रांड. So yeah,
basically helps you grow personally and professionally.
Yes, 100%, both.
You never know when a meeting, when this networking turns into a collaborations. You never know when you have the same sense of thought, same vision that accumulates and creates something new, a new venture. So meeting people is always important. How you people, we do exist, but how we cannot reach to each and every person. They never know personally how that growth is happening, how you are educating, how you are bringing change in the industry, what are the upcoming things. So when you meet people, they interact, they know you personally, your growth, your factors, everything comes in that. So when they align in the same segment, then the collaborations work. Like I would put it across in the recent IIJS premiere, a delegation from Dubai had come down. The Dubai group of gold and business group of gold and jewelry designers. So they were just going through the jewelry designing segment, how we are teaching, how the education, and suddenly they said, we want you for our programs. So that was a moment that collaborated well. We collaborated World Gold Council for the sustainability aspect where we are teaching all the essaying courses under IIG brand. So that way when we meet, when we network, that professional and personal growth both takes place.
Wonderful. Last one and then we get into the audience Q&A because we're running out of time now.
So I mean, I completely second their idea of networking. With me, it's been a lot of more of networking because it's been, like I told you, we started off as freshers in the industry. So what I've noticed is there are two forms of networking. One is with your consumers. Second is within the industry. So we started off with a lot of networking within the industry. What is very, very important if you're starting a new brand, I'm not sure what the audience is, but if you're looking at starting a new brand, number one is being able to synergize, you know, what the industry has and what you bring to the table. You don't need to sit and figure out everything yourself. There's a lot available in the industry. There's a lot of experience already there. So networking within the industry is primary to be able to understand where you can synergize, you can use other people's experiences, being able to understand, like very simple example, like for me to, to jot down what geography I want to target, that came from networking. There were a lot of people who told me that, no, this is not the place that you go to. You don't go to, I'm not going to say it, like you don't go to Gujarat to sell lab grown, there's already so much there. And so that kind of information... so that kind of information comes from within the industry, and that's where networking plays a role. Second is when you're talking about a consumer-facing kind of an audience, right? Because nowadays, in today's day of social media, you don't go to a store directly. You first, like you said, you go check their social media, you check whether their design is aligning with your idea, whether the people who are behind the brand, the faces of the brand are similar to what kind of taste or what kind of liking you have, right? So in terms of being, like I said, being in touch with the customer, that is primary. So networking with the customer knows, okay, this person is the face of the brand, she has a particular way of styling, there's a particular way of design, and I like it, which is why I will go to a Profini or whatever. So those are the two types of networking, and it is key, I would say, for a new entrepreneur. I think 50% of your time should be networking and the remaining 50 should be the actual work.
I totally agree with all of you all, and that's the reason
You're the master of networking, so I think you should end this question.
So the whole reason of starting jewelry networking was basically to connect people from all different kinds of service providers from various industries with service seekers like us from the gems and jewelry industry. So if any of you all have questions later after the panel discussion, I'm happy to answer on that. So let's get into the audience Q&A because it's already 1, so let's take about 10 minutes max to, if you all have any questions.
Thank you, Prerna. Quickly, I just want to say that every women panel, there is a question of like what challenges they face in this industry. So I think we should stop this. This question should not come. We are always welcoming all the women for this industry. And you will not believe 70% of my student category is women, girls. So I think there is no challenge for this industry. This industry is belong to women. It is by the women and for the women. Thank you. And a very nicely curated panel. Thank you.
I would actually like to add on his point. It is so true that our industry, how welcoming it is of women, it is outstanding. Because even in my own office, like my father, my uncle, even the staff, they give so much value to my opinion. I can say on my personal experience only, to my opinion, and they do actually care what I'm saying. So challenges in our industry for women, I think they're very, I don't think there are a lot. Yes, maybe in some cities like she faced, they might be there, but at least for my personal experience.
Before 15 years.
Exactly. So for today's day and age, I don't think there's any challenge that we face. I think we're more than welcomed here.
Thank you for seconding me.
और इससे बड़ा example, live example, I would say कि when I wanted to educate and I reached IIG Mr. Rahul Desai, I just told him one sentence that I want to change the way jewelry designing is being taught. And he said, go. So not even asking whether I actually, from my experience background or somewhere I have taught or nothing at all. He just saw my passion and he said, just have a go. And down the line, 5 years, where I stand here with him, bringing jewelry designing segment on a global platform.
Wonderful.
And also on the entrepreneur level, like rightly said 10 years before, my staff, like the members, team members, 70% are male and 30% are women. Now it is the other way around.
I changed it.
Yeah, hello. So I'm Shreya Upadhyay and I'm from Varanasi. So I have a question from Disha because I'm also a IIGJ student. I'm a jewelry designer, Melville jewelry designer. I'm working with different brands, but as of now, I don't see a very much, a design variation in platinum. Whosoever, look for a platinum jewelry, they look forward to white gold in our area. So how you deal with designing part in your whole pure platinum jewelry, estate?
So when it comes to designing part, I would say कि platinum jewelry जिस तरीके से है, so platinum is something which you need to think out of the box because it is very simple, very elegant. It has sparkle but few. It has a metal play but few. It has a combination of two-tone, but it's in a ratio कि platinum का metal आपको इतना होगा, diamond का ratio होगा इतना. And design styling, how you doing it. It's all about the trend and the styling, how we do it. So it's the completely brainstorm and the trend which we need to go with. Yeah.
Basically, you are there to build the trend.
Yeah.
Great. I'd like to add to that since you're talking about platinum. I think platinum in general as a metal is not very easy to play around with as much as gold is. So the design factor a lot depends on that, but on the contrary, if you see the platinum category award participations in India and international, you will see that they've gone far ahead in experimenting what kind of jewelry has been made. So I think that is a benchmark you need to look at when you're exploring designs because your creativity will start building more from there, if I've answered what you wanted to know.
The main issue in platinum is the temperature. It's very high, and secondly, like how the gold you can melt it any how you want. अगर आप gold का कुछ product बना रहे हैं तो उसको हल्का सा heat देते हैं ना तो it gets bent, but not into the platinum. So the biggest issue is the temperature of the platinum.
Hi. Okay, after you. सॉरी डिबेट नहीं है, जस्ट एक जनरल बोलना है कि प्लैटिनम को प्रमोशन के लिए डिज़ाइन एलिमेंट ज़रूरी नहीं है. रिटेलर का एजुकेट होना बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि सबसे बड़ा बेस रिटेल स्टोर सबसे पहले आता है. अगर रिटेल स्टोर को पता है कि साहब हाँ मेरा वेंडर है मेरे पास जो प्लैटिनम को मैं कुछ भी बोलूँगा वो बना सकता है, दे सकता है, हाँ बाईबैक है, इफ़ ही कम्युनिकेट्स टू द कंज्यूमर, तो ये और पॉपुलर होते जाएगा और कस्टमर का कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्ड होएगा. प्योर प्लैटिनम उसी बेस पे काम करते करते आज इतने साल हो गए और आने वाले 50 साल तक हम लोग यही करते रहेंगे. Thank you.
No, that's true. But I think, at least from my understanding of what I've understood from the market, platinum as a metal at end customer level, they are not hesitant to buy platinum as a metal or the price. It's mainly वो जब making उसकी सुनने जाते हैं, they feel अरे इसकी making बहुत महंगी है. That is a natural comparison when they do it with white gold.
But ये भी एक comparison है. जैसे sorry मैं कट नहीं कर रहा हूँ आपको, लेकिन जिस तरीके से अगर आप कोई स्पेशल चीज़ अगर आप ले रहे हैं, आज जनरल वे में पॉलिस्टर भी एक कपड़ा है, कॉटन भी एक कपड़ा है, सिल्क भी एक कपड़ा है, लेकिन आपको उसका वैल्यू दुकानदार को बोलने आना चाहिए कि साहब ये देखिए ये कॉटन है, ये सिल्क है, आप इसको ओकेजन पे पहनेंगे, लेकिन आप जब पहनेंगे इसको आपका फील अलग होगा. आप रोज़ फील अपने आप को अलग करना चाहते हैं या एक दिन करना चाहते हैं या नहीं चाहते हैं, इट ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन योर टेस्ट. जैसे स्टारबक्स है और एक साइड में रोड के ऊपर चाय बना रहे हैं, वहाँ पर भी कस्टमर्स है, स्टारबक्स में भी कस्टमर्स है. आप क्या है बस आपको चेक करना है. इट इज़ जस्ट दैट.
Conveying the right story is very important, and the brand story is important. Sorry, you have a question. Yes.
That's good. I think wonderful panel. Nobody left the room throughout, so that's a great compliment.
Thank you. And I think I've only seen people adding on.
Yes, absolutely. Nobody left the room, and even though a very young panel, and they had a lot of. Okay, I think Darshini and Gunjan mentioned about luxury. I would like to touch upon a point. When you say luxury means the experience which you give and the story which you give. But what I've seen in most of the retail outlets, even in the branded stores, is the grooming element, the communication element of the frontline salespeople falls a lot shorter than what is expected. Now, even when you talk about let's say a luxury hotel or a luxury resort and so on, you expect a certain standards of service delivery. While the products might be great, okay, no doubt about that, a value and so on. So, since we are moving, since it's an age where we are moving from, metal, not from the investment point of view, but a style statement. We are moving. If you see earlier, people used to buy just for saving. It's a one form of converting instead of fixed deposit. So it has moved to a statement. But the frontline sales people, the way it gets presented, the grooming, attire and so on, they're less focused because चलो कुछ तो आदमी तो डाल दे स्टोर पे बेचने के लिए, पहले वो आ जाए, okay, बाद में देखा जाएगा कि उनका grooming कैसा होगा. But not much effort is gone behind it. I mean, would you like to comment as to how important that aspect would be and how do you see that gap being fulfilled?
Thank you, sir, for your question, and thank you for bringing this, because this is the most important need that we are now looking into the industry. So I personally feel that the lack of awareness on people product पे खर्चा करते हैं, but grooming part पे नहीं करते. They don't want to train their people. They don't want to go. That is why at IIG we personally say the gap between the industry and education has to be filled up. We are personally doing this corporate trainings for different coming brands just to fill up this gap. It is very important the first line person, how he interacts, what experience he is giving to the customer is truly important. For example, if I would put, Tanish has recently launched this customer styling part in their experience of luxury brand. So they have hired this all your image consultant, their style statement. They are giving those experiences to their customers to make them understand how that product fits in your luxury, how it fits in your mass productions. So why this need had arisen? This need is arise because we are growing. The industry is growing. People want to invest in these things, but they need to have a right line of knowledge. How we are projecting the things, how we are, which dress goes with which jewelry goes with your outfit. So fashion and jewelry goes line in line. So these upgradation, these image consultants, these style statements are being given at Tanish. Why not in other stores? Why not in other brands? This is the need of the time. We need to train our sales staff who are working in front line directly with the consumers. And the jewelers need to understand this need. This is the most that education plays an important role. The green color stone might not be an emerald. So what, if it is not an emerald, what it is? He doesn't know. Then he has to go here and there and ask somebody. Why not that awareness is giving? We ourselves are going so much in training programs in all the front line, whether you take gemstones, whether you talk about jewelry settings. Half of the staff don't know what are the settings. How many different
So I think what she is basically trying to say is everything depends on, I would give you an example. ऐसा क्यों होता है कि in a family jeweler owned store or any other store, the person always wants to close the deal with the owner कि मुझे सेठ के पास है, आपका ओनर कौन है, उसके पास क्लोज करना है. आप तनिष्क में जाओ, मलाबार, you go to any chain store, the team is closing the deals there. The owners are not sitting there and closing it. So it depends on how much you put it into your retail store or your team, how much do you groom them to put them in the front end to close things. I think if that answers your questions a lot, it will also depend on that.
If I may add, yes, it's very nice that everyone can have the same color dresses and everything. I agree on the education part. Yes, the staff should be educated. However, if we make every store luxury, India is not completely, like, we can't say that the 100% of India is luxury. There are small 2-star or 3-star.
Desi touch has to be there.
Desi touch has to be there. अगर आप सबको सूट में डाल दोगे, हाँ, अगर आप सबको सूट में डाल दोगे तो you won't, if I am not that well to do, if supposing touch wood that doesn't happen, but if I am not, if going to a store where the staff is wearing a suit and I want to buy gold but I can't even afford the suit. Gold is a lot of places, it's not necessary that everyone buys it as a luxury only. Some people want to buy it, just buy it. It's been a tradition. If there's a festival or something, they want to buy gold. लेकिन उधर staff ने सूट पहना है और मेरे पास ओके कपड़े हैं, सूट नहीं है. So I don't think the dress matters as much, but the education and the mental capacity of the staff matters a lot more as compared to the dresses.
Everyone's definition of luxury is different. So, so you choose your target.
We will take the last question now because we're running out of time now. So let's just take this last and then we wrap up for the session. The people waiting outside already.
Hi. So this industry as a whole has been, according to me, facing some problem in terms of jewelry is still a very emotional and a physical touch kind of a product that people want to touch and then only buy. Is there anything, according to the panel, that we can do in terms of scalability, where, you know, online sales or something in a high ticket value, online sales or something which is like, not every jeweler has to have a physical store in every city they want to sell into. So is there a solution for something like that maybe?
I think if you, there are a lot of brands who've stepped into the virtual try-on mode. So one of the immediate solutions could be that, and there are so many platforms now, even if you don't want to invest into virtual try-on, WhatsApp is a great way to, you know, actually sell jewelry. There are people who have now had the facility that within the city they actually send people from their team home and, you know, they help guide with all the kind of jewelry and inventory. So I think that could be one of...
but the major conversions come only when it's like, you know, they actually physically see...
It does. You know, see, jewelry, the higher ticket size jewelry is always going to be more about the touch and feel. Today, even if I have to wear a piece of jewelry, I will still want to touch and feel, try it on, and then I'll be like, okay, this is looking nice on me, you know. Then, so I think that thing is always going to be there. But to make it easier, you can add on those things. And I'm sure they are more experienced in it.
I would say digitally we are growing. It's not that it's not there. People are buying jewelry online. I've seen a lot of purchase on CaratLane platforms where people are not waiting for this touch and feel experience. But the way the commodity is depicted, the detailing, the transparency that you are giving in the product, the buyback policies you are keeping it, makes it secure for them to invest into it. There are a lot of people coming in this segment. If I talk about buying and selling of diamonds, solitaires, it's such a luxurious commodity. 70% of buying of solitaires is now digital. So why this is happening? You don't have to touch the diamond. Still it is being, because the information, the transparency that you are keeping in providing the consumer satisfaction, that is important. And now personally when I'm teaching globally online, my education also, I see you don't have to travel far from global countries coming here. You get the same touch and experience. So digitally we are now apt, we are growing, and we are looking more forward to this platform. And future we will have more such platforms which becomes, but the core is there has to be a transparency.
Wonderful. So thank you to everyone.